well working on this neck, and I got it cut down. I basically resawed it on my bandsaw down to about 5/8, and then I used my big drum sander. It's a shop-made drum sander that I made a few years ago, but I used that to take this on down to about 7/16. Now I'm doing my final sanding here and cleaning up this place where it comes right up behind the nut, and it needs a lot tighter radius than what my drum sander sands, and so I'm using this. I couldn't really show you on my drum sander, but it's basically the same thing, except the drum sander has a bigger, like a 4-inch size drum, where this is about 1.5 inches. And I just got this fence set up here so that I can just get right up against it. And I've already made several passes there. So I had my radius in pretty good shape, and I had switched out, I had on a coarser grit, about like an 80, and I changed to this. I'm not sure what it is, but it's somewhere around 120 or 150, and kind of do some final sanding with that. Of course, I'll have to finish it out by hand on the sanding, but I've got my radius about where I want it here, and I've got the thickness almost exactly 7/16, and so I just about, got this part of it how I want it. I've got my holes drilled for my tuning machines, and so progressing pretty good. I'm going to next I'm going to put in my side dots here, and I just have a little 1/16 inch phenolic rod, and you just drill a 1/16 inch hole in your fretboard here, and you just dip that rod in a little bit of super glue, stick it in there, cut it off with a utility knife, and then you can just come back and sand it just a little bit, and that's all there is to the side dot. I want to do all that, especially before I put my frets in, and I'm going to put the frets in before I start shaping this back, because the frets I'll have to dress anyway, and I've got my fingerboard sanded down to 800, so if you highlight it, I mean, it's got a glassy shine just to the sanding. It doesn't have any finish on it, and it won't, but with just that sanded finish, it's got nearly a mirror shine to it. So anyway, I don't want to mess that up. I don't want to have to try to resand in between the frets. So once I get the frets on there, then I can start working on this back and get my neck shaped to the shape that I want it, which I'm going to be shooting for like a modern C neck. Well, I'm about to start the profile on this neck, working on it. I kind of hit it a couple times with the file just to kind of see what that Gonçalo Alves was going to be like. I've made a fretboard out of it before, but I hadn't used it for a neck or anything that I had to really work a whole lot other than just sand. So anyway, it looks like it's going to work all right. Not be too hard to shape up. Got my tools here, a little body file. I really like these. I need to get there it is, it's a body file. I really like these. I need to get a new, whatever you call the actual file part of it that goes on here. It's starting to get a little dull, but it still works pretty good. Could be a little sharper. And then just a general rab. This scraper, and I've got a couple more over there. I don't really think I'm gonna need the rounded hook looking one. The other one's got a bit of a edge on it that's similar to the neck shape, so that might come in handy. We'll see. I've used it a little bit before, but I usually come back to this one. I have a profile. You can push that down onto it. As you can see, my neck is still square, but really handy for seeing where you're at and checking up and down the neck. My body file is not as sharp as I thought it was. Plus, this Gonçalo Alves is pretty hard, so it wasn't doing a whole lot. I mean, it'll take some little shavings off. Not bad for smoothing it up and getting those rasp markings out of there. Those teeth leave some pretty good marks in there. I don't know if it's evident from the video or not, but I mean, this is pretty aggressive, and that's what I'm having to use to be able to take this down without it taking forever to get there. So I'm using this rasp and just trying to get these edges off of here, because I have to go down with the radius on this profile. I have to go down basically to the fretboard there and on around. And for a C shape, that means you have to remove all this material in here. With a D shape or something like that, a little fatter neck, you don't have to remove quite so much of this material right in here. I'll wind up using sandpaper a lot on this, because by the time I get it down with this and then run my scraper over it, I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's, you know, that's removing. You would think that's not really doing anything, but it's removing some pretty good material, and it leaves a really nice finish behind. It's not perfectly smooth. A lot of people, you can use these either way. You can push with it like that, and that might show you a little bit more of the shavings that are coming off there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's shavings that are, you know, 2.5, 3 inches long, falling off of there whenever I do that. So it's removing a pretty good amount of material. There's one that just kind of hung on. That's doing a really nice job there. But for the next little bit, I'm gonna have to spend some time with this old-fashioned wood rasp and just remove some of this material off of here. Just kind of get an idea. More at a D shape right now. So all of this material right here and right here have to come off of there. Well, it's starting to look like a neck now. I'm just about there. I'm within a couple hundredths here and 3 or 4 hundredths up here of my actual thickness. I've got the overall profile pretty damn close. This kind of helps to smooth out when you're working with flat files and scrapers. This one's round, but you're only touching that neck in a very narrow spot there. So it's pretty easy to get, almost impossible not to get some grooves in it just a little bit. So coming back and doing this will eliminate those grooves. It'll sand down the high spots and get rid of those grooves in it. Start slicking it up a little bit. I really don't want to get into my fingerboard, and I sure don't want to get under there and scratch the frets, even though they still have to be leveled and crowned and polished. But if you get a deep scratch in there, when you come back to level your frets, sometimes you have to go further than you want to, and it turns into a whole lot more work than what it ought to. So I try to be real careful with my frets. I'd tape them, but I really need to see right where I'm at on that fretboard. So anyway, I'm just almost there. Well, there's the finished shaping of the neck, and got it just about like I want it. It's sanded to 400, and I can't tell you how smooth that Gonçalo Alves feels once it gets sanded up to 400. I'll sand it even more once I finish it up. And I think what I'll do is, I want pretty much a raw neck. That thing feels so smooth, and on the Gonçalo Alves, that's one of the benefits of it. It's a wood with a lot of resins and waxes in it that make it sand up really nice and really smooth, and the neck doesn't have to be finished. Anyway, I'm just almost there, and I think it's time to order my TV Classic Filtertron style pickups, and it won't be long before I'm going to be able to play this thing.